As you walk into this formal garden, note how it is enclosed by brick walls, green with trimmed fig ivy. Stately lions guard the entrance of one of the many gems of this park. As you look to the west wall, to your right, you will see a blue and white plaque with a rendering of a child. Does this look familiar? It should, because it is the same plaque seen from a distance along that long ribbon of lawn we saw after leaving the Lakeside Pavilion. The plaque is a medallion of an infant. The Bambino plaque is a replica of one by Andrea della Robbia, which originally hung on the walls of a children's hospital in Florence, Italy. Mr. Maclay acquired it on one of his travels abroad. Take a close look at the medallion, then turn around 180 degrees to face the east wall and notice the vista of the reflection pool. Now notice that the brick walkway in the far distance has disappeared, just as the reflection pool was not visible when looking from the brick walkway toward the walled garden. At both ends of this long line of sight, Mr. Maclay used the slight elevation of the slope to make the spectacular disappearing effect possible. This aspect of gardening is reminiscent of gardens in Italy and is a technique Mr. Maclay learned while studying in Europe. This long vista view is emphasized by plantings on both sides of tall, thin Italian cypress trees. The reflection pool was the second stage of development of the gardens. It is framed on both sides by white azaleas and sable palms, the state tree of Florida. Mr. Maclay brought these trees from Port St. Joe, approximately 85 miles west of Tallahassee. The reflection pool is a popular site for weddings. This is one of the many areas in the gardens that you are likely to share the view with an eastern cottontail rabbit, a white-tailed deer, or a flock of cardinals or red-breasted robins. Now, let's enjoy the view at the center of the walled garden. A few small century plants accent the terraced beds around the central pool. They are copied realistically in the central bronze fountain commissioned by Mrs. Maclay especially for this garden. She sent the sculptor Alexander Stoller a live potted century plant to his New York studio for use as his model. The century plant was one of Mrs. Maclay's favorites. This walled garden was at times called the Pansy Garden because it is always planted with pansies in the winter. This tradition was begun by Mrs. Maclay and is continued by the park staff. Pansies were another of Mrs. Maclay's favorite flowers. On the south wall is the bronze memorial plaque which commemorates the dedication of the gardens, then called Killern Gardens, to the state of Florida to forever be enjoyed by the public as a state park. What a wonderful gift this was. There once were lead peacocks situated on the pillars above this plaque. They were a gift from Jim Fox, a close friend of Mr. Maclay, who often visited and helped in the development of the gardens. The peacocks are British antiques. There were also lead pigeons that adorned the tops of the entranceways. We have the originals located in the Maclay house. After you've taken time to enjoy the walled garden, the vista, and the reflection pool, we'll meet for our next station at the secret garden. Walk to the left across the grassy lawn area. Notice the mature Sasanqua camellia hedgerow on the right, with the water fountain and bench tucked among the branches. These Sasanqua camellias are fragrant and lose their petals individually, creating a beautiful snow effect.